Hey internet, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Jongravesshow. Durarara this week was a bit of a turn of pace, cause most of the stuff that actually happened this episode actually revolved around Izuya, and it really didn't seem like it was supposed to be like all about him, or at least for this episode anyway. It felt as though it felt like that everything wasn't as what it seemed to be, but everything was just mixed up and disjointed with all these crazy timelines. But pretty much getting into whatever this episode was, Izuya is captured by a group called I can't even pronounce that damn name. Abina. I can't necessarily pronounce it, but it's this group that works out. It's a illegal gambling group that actually runs out of this specific casino, and intertwined with that, we also have this other group known as the Heaven Slave, the people who the people who were in the bathroom dealing those crazy drugs and whatnot, and pretty much they want to go ahead and they want to actually get some information upon Izuya, because they want to know like what he knows about them, who hired him in to get information upon them, and also they want to actually go after his family and so on and so forth. However, before all this actually takes place, of course, the mob of this fucking series asks Izuya for all this stuff, as we already know. And pretty much Izuya goes on ahead to pretty much set everything up already, ready to know everything. Well, now he already knows everything about these two specific groups. Whatever these two main group leaders are pretty much talking about, or second in commands, or pretty much whatever they're fucking talking about, that's pretty much irrelevant right now. But looking at whatever this episode pretty much brought to the table, it really shows that Izuya still is a #1 information broker, and he has a lot of fucking connections. Because actually we do learn some things about some of the other characters in which that we have been seeing a lot. Such as, we learn a few things about Mikage. Most likely the fact of supposedly her brother actually blames Izuya, the reason why she dropped out of high school and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily going to disclose a lot of her problems, but yeah, we do learn some things about her, and that, yeah, she does work with Izuya, and so does a lot of other people who still actually do have powers. Also, the other girl, Haruna, who I believe who also had Psychos powers, the same as Henri, but hers weren't as potent. So, of course, it's she does actually come up, and she does actually help Izuya for specific information. This entire episode actually plays out pretty interesting, almost like it could be just a piece from a movie, in which that if they blew this whole episode up and turned it into an actual movie, it would be pretty interesting. Or at least because for the longest while, you actually sit there and you do watch these scenes and you see Izuya pretty much tied up and him being tortured, but then you also see scenes of things which make it seem as though like things are happening normally, or like somebody's like sending information to the Lady Earthworm's cell phone. Now in this room you can't see if it's day or night or pretty much anything like that, but it seems as though that like everything that's happening in that room is happening in real time until the end of the episode. So for a stylistic choice, and also for how this thing pretty much plays out, it's actually fun to the point where if this was longer, I wouldn't have even minded it. But that is what I have to say about that. What does this spell for the rest of Durarara? I have no fucking idea. But because Durarara, like each episode, they shift to another episode. It's almost like 3 different arcs are going on in this series again, and then they just pick a character to sort of like just make them the focus of it, and then they just shift out the episodes like as they go. But that is what I gotta say about that. Please tell me what you think about this down in the comment section. I'll catch you guys on the next Jongravesshow. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I'm out.